As I was scrolling through the Epstein Files database, analyzing every single PDF that I came across, I stumbled across some very interesting video files. Now, these videos, we're not really given context with them, but I believe that these videos are recorded depositions given by Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's essential partner in crime, I believe for one of the lawsuits that was filed against her, but I don't know, this could have been something criminal. I don't really know the basis of when these were recorded, but I believe that they were for a lawsuit or some legal proceedings that were being filed against Ghislaine. And it kind of struck me because, you know, I've heard Jeffrey Epstein's voice, and Epstein, his voice does not match his body at all. I imagine Jeffrey would have some sort of a deep, dark voice like this, but he really sounds kind of like this, you know? Like he sounds like a little if I'm gonna be honest. Like Epstein just sounds like a pipsqueak, you know? Like you could kick him and he'd go flying. But it's the same for Ghislaine. I actually couldn't remember a time when I had heard Ghislaine Maxwell speak. I mean, I had seen some footage of her speaking at a TED Talk, and I had listened to some of the interviews released from this summer by Todd Blanche, the Assistant Attorney General, or whatever his Deputy Attorney General, whatever his position is. But to see Ghislaine talking and to see her answers to some of the questions that are asked of her is incredibly shocking. And so I figured that I would come on here and post the videos and the clips full, raw, and unedited for you guys to see so you can make up your own mind on Ghislaine. Because what we're going to see, I have a feeling, in the next few months or even years, is a campaign to, in a way, exonerate Ghislaine Maxwell. I hate to make that prediction, but I think that that's where we're headed in the United States. We have a president who is plastered all across the Epstein files. We have many people in the administration that are not only credibly accused of having someone, but credibly accused of committing crimes against. And then in addition, being found in the Epstein files. And the last thing that they want is for Ghislaine to start talking and to one day obviously tell the world what she knows. Now, do I think Ghislaine would ever do that? No. She's a very well-trained intelligence asset, and she's a smart woman. Like, she's not gonna go rat on the people that are dangling the keys to her freedom right out of reach. I mean, they could go in and kill her just like they did Epstein. And yeah, I don't think she would ever go against that. But, you know, I have a feeling that they're gonna try, in exchange for her cooperation, trying to get her out. You might start hearing some people defending Ghislaine, and they might use some of her answers to questions like what you're about to see in her defense. Now, when I watched this footage, I saw a liar lying through her teeth viciously without remorse the entire time, and a very bad liar at that. It's almost comical how bad she seems to be at lying. You're going to see it in a second. Without further ado, I'm just going to get right into this. I'm going to let you guys see this footage and make up your minds yourselves. Keep in mind, this is all footage found within the newest Epstein Files releases by the DOJ. You can download these files yourself. I just did, and I decided to string them all together and put them here so people could watch them online, and I'll be back at the end.
Who were the other masseuses they were aware of?
I'm not aware of any.
Were there any masseuses you were aware of?
I'm not aware.
Any
Look, I just want to be clear. The only person that I'm aware of who claims to have been, and you know, we have to, whilst I've established that I was 17, given that she has changed her age so many times, the only person that I'm aware of that was a masseuse at the time when I was present in the house, I had not any idea exactly of the youngest adult employee that I hired for Jeffrey.
When you say adult employee, did you ever hire someone that was under the age of 18?
Never.
Did you ever bring someone who was under, or invite someone who was under the age of 18 to his home, any of his homes?
Object to the form and foundation.
You can answer.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Did you ever invite anybody under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's homes?
Same objection.
I have a number of friends that have children, and friends of mine who have kids, and in the invitation of my friends and their kids, I'm sure that I will have invited some of my friends kids to come, if that's what you're referring to.
No, anybody that is not a friend of yours, any female under the age of 18, did you invite them to come to Jeffrey's home?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
Again, as I said, I am not aware of having invited anybody other than friends of mine who have children to the house.
Did you invite her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18? Can you list for me all the girls that you have met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's house that were under the age of 18?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I could only recall my family members that were there, and I could not make a list of anyone else because that never happened. But I can take off.
I'm talking about during the time that you were working for Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Can you list all the girls that you found for Jeffrey Epstein that were under the age of 18 to work for him in any capacity?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
So I didn't find girls. I didn't
You
look
met
for
them,
girls.
you choose the word.
Well, no, you don't choose the word. If you have a question, ask it.
List all of the girls that you met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's home for the purposes of employment that were under the age of
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I've already characterized what my job was, which was to find people, adults, professional people, to do the types of jobs that I listed before. Pool person, secretary, house person, chef, pilot,
But I was asking about
architect.
individuals under the age of 18, not adult persons, individuals under the age of 18.
I only looked for people or tried to find people to fill professional jobs in professional situations.
Under the age of 18, correct?
I think we've established was
Is she the only, I'm sorry, go ahead. Is she the only individual that you met for purposes of hiring someone for Jeffrey that was under the age of 18?
Check the Foreman Foundation. This characterizes their testimony.
So I didn't hire people. I met
I didn't
people.
use the word hire. I said
Yes, you
met.
did.
I said met.
So I interviewed people for jobs that were professional people for professional things, and I'm not aware of anyone aside from who clearly was a masseuse aged, but that's, at least that's how far we know that I can think of that fulfilled any professional capacity for Jeffrey.
List all the people under the age of 18 that you interacted with at any of Jeffrey's properties.
I'm not aware of anybody that I interacted with, other than was at this point.
Time in any of Mr. Epstein's properties, did you engage in activities with any woman other than when you had three-way activities with Mr. Epstein?
Check the form.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
At any time in any of Mr. Epstein's properties, did you engage in activities with any woman other than when you had three-way activities with Mr. Epstein?
Same objection.
No.
Other than yourself and the blonde and brunette that you have identified as having been involved in three-way activities, with whom did Mr. Epstein have sexual activities?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I wasn't aware that he was having activities with anyone when I was with him, other than myself.
I want to be sure that I'm clear. Is it your testimony that in the 1990s and 2000s, you were not aware that Mr. Epstein was having activities with anyone other than yourself and the blonde and brunette on those few occasions when they were involved with you?
That is my testimony. That is correct.
Did Mr. Epstein ever ask you to attempt to obtain or secure people to give him massages that were not professional masseuses?
No.
Do you remember somebody by the name of...
I would have no knowledge. I have no knowledge of what you're asking me.
Did you ever have conversations with anyone that were intended to convince them to engage in sexual activities with Mr. Epstein?
Object to form and foundation.
No.
This has been asked and answered in her previous deposition, by the way.
Did you ever tell anyone that Mr. Epstein was a scout for Victoria's Secret?
I don't recall ever saying that.
Do you have any reason to believe that Mr. Epstein engaged in sexual activity with Annie Farmer?
Object to form and foundation.
I wouldn't, no.
Did you ever give a massage to anyone other than Mr. Epstein at any of Mr. Epstein's properties?
First of all, I never said I gave Mr. Epstein a massage.
I'll ask that question if you want, but I was focusing on people other than Mr. Epstein right now.
I don't give massages.
Okay. Let's just tie that down. It is your testimony that you've never given anybody a massage.
I have not given anyone a massage.
You never gave Mr. Epstein a massage. That's your testimony.
That is my testimony.
You never gave Annie Farmer a massage. Is your testimony.
I've never given any kind of massage.
Epstein and stated that she can remember and stated that she brought, and then you'll see that it's redacted there, and the victim in this case.
So
Are you, let me ask my question. I've got a question pending right now. Are you testifying that you are unaware of any under the age of females coming to Jeffrey Epstein's home to perform massages?
Object to the form and the foundation.
You need to straddle that question with different for a time zone, because when I was there, when I was present, at the time that I was present, the people that gave Jeffrey, men and women who gave Jeffrey massages were adults, so over the age of...
So never in your time at any of Jeffrey Epstein's homes were you present when a female under the age of was there to give Jeffrey Epstein a massage?
Object to the form and foundation.
First of all, as I said, when I was
No,
present...
it's a yes or no answer.
No,
Please
it is
give me-
not a yes or no answer.
You can answer the question in full, but please provide a yes or no as an initial matter.
I cannot answer a yes or no question to that question because it's not bounded by any time and it's not bounded by anything. It's
Okay.
entirely possible that I could have been in a room or even in the vicinity of Palm Beach when somebody came that I would not know. How would I know if somebody was in the house? There's no way I could know.
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit girls to use them for purposes of sex massages?
Objective form and foundation.
Can you ask me again, please?
Sure. Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit girls to use them for sex massages?
Objective form and foundation.
Can you ask it a different way?
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit girls for sex massages?
Objective form and foundation.
If you know.
So, I don't know what you're talking about.
Or another man and woman or another man or woman may consider to be unusual or overly aggressive.
Objection form.
True?
Depends on your point of view.
That's what I mean. Everyone has a different point of view about and what may be considered typical activity for someone. Someone else may consider that's a bit adventurous. True?
Yes.
All right. And I'm not trying to make you an expert here, so you don't. Also, I assume that when you've been in CVS or Walgreens, and for that matter, Publix or even Winn-Dixie, I assume that I don't want to assume anything. You ever been in an aisle where you've seen being sold?
Yes.
Okay, and where lubricants are being sold?
Yes.
All right. And as well, massage oils and other types of oils actually are
Yes.
sold in those kinds of stores.
Yes.
All right. And they're available so that someone walking through Walgreens or Publix or CVS could actually take it off the shelf, put it in their cart, go up and pay for it, and take it home.
Yes.
All right. In the photographs that you talked about, and if I understood you correctly, at least during the time that you were there, Mr. Rodriguez, in 04 and 05, there were, you said that there were, I think you said downstairs, and I'm talking about really from the kitchen area up the back stairway, or what would be the kitchen stairway to the upper floor. There was, I think you said, but correct me if I'm wrong, please, that you don't recall seeing there being any pictures or photographs of any women. Is that correct?
There were not nude women in the staircase.
That's all I'm talking about right now. In that area, you never saw any pictures or photographs, paintings, any type of depiction of a woman.
No.
On that staircase going upstairs, correct?
Correct.
Right. And I think you said downstairs you saw a picture of, the only picture that you saw of a young that displayed some form of, I don't want to say nudity because it's probably not that, but of some portion of their body that was exposed, and I think you described it as her cheek. And by that you
that's
mean
upstairs.
That's upstairs.
Upstairs.
And that was a picture where someone, it looked like, was pulling on their swimsuit.
Yes.
Did you ever remember seeing the old copper tone?
Yes.
Let me ask I know you know what this is. Have you ever seen the old copper tone commercials and the billboards? They actually used to be plastered all over, certainly Florida and other places where there's a cute little girl, appears to be 2, 3, 4 years old, and someone's pulling down at least a portion of her swimsuit, so she's exposing, or a small portion of her cheek is exposed.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what the picture of the young girl looked like? That is Mr. Epstein's got?
More or less, yes.
All right. And downstairs in the kitchen, were there any pictures of women in any stage of undress?
No.
And then I think you said as you walk upstairs, or as you walked up the stairway from the kitchen at the top of the landing, and I think you described it, did you describe it as a foyer?
Yes.
Okay, but it's really the landing, the upstairs
Exactly.
landing?
That's
I think you said that there was a 3x5 picture or pictures
Yes.
of women in some stage of undress?
Yes.
Okay. How many, and when you say 3x5, I assume you meant 3 feet?
3 feet.
By 5 feet. So they're
Yes.
large. Were they photographs?
Yes, they were photographs.
And I think you also told us that you didn't recognize who those people were. Is that correct?
I knew this particular girl because...
Okay, and is that the picture you're talking about?
This is the picture I'm talking about.
Okay, and that was a 3x5?
Yes.
All right. Was there, and the only thing that you could see was a portion that is of her, I mean, other than, say, her waist or her shoulders or her arms or something, that's one where you could see kind of like the Coppertone commercial, the picture of her
Yes,
cheek?
her part of her buttocks.
Okay. And was there another picture at the top of the foyer, large one, or is that the only one that you can recall?
And there were two of the same girl in the different poses.
But this showed the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. As you walked through then if I understood it correctly, you go to pretty much to the end of the hallway, and then you go through another small vestibule, double doors,
Yes.
2 sets of double doors, and as you go straight ahead, then you make a left around the bed, and then you end up in the bathroom.
Yes.
Right. In the bathroom or in that location, were there any pictures of any women in any stage of undress?
Yes.
All right. And were any of those pictures, did they involve, or were they of any of the girls that have been described as women who came over to give purportedly to give Mr. Epstein a massage?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember who any of the names of any of those people were?
No, sir.
Okay. And the pictures you saw, where were they located?
Inside his closet,
Right.
the walk-in closet.
Okay. And those pictures, and was it, I think you called it a mosaic?
Yes.
Right. And of the mosaic, approximately how many pictures were in the mosaic?
16 or 20.
Okay, and of those pictures, how many did you recognize?
By 3 or 4.
And were they, as to who those people were, you don't know, you just recognized 3 or 4 of them?
Mr. Epstein when he was younger, and then different girlfriends, but I didn't recognize except the ones.
Okay, and you said 3 or 4 of those were pictures of the girls who came over to give
Yes,
the
sir.
massage?
Yes.
Okay, and but as to who those girls were, you don't know, as you
No,
sit here
sir.
today. All right, and as to what their ages were, you don't know.
No, sir.
That's correct?
That's correct.
And as to what they depicted in the photographs of the girls, were they in different stages of undress?
Yes.
Was everyone undressed to some degree? That is, they were described as nudes, or at least the questions have asked, were these people nude? Were they actually nude, or were they? Someone may have had their top off. And
There were 2 girls completely naked in a shower.
Okay.
In a sexual act.
And is that the one that you, when Mrs. Zell asked you questions, that's one of the photographs that you were talking about?
No, sir.
Okay, that was a different
one.
Okay. And in the mosaic that you saw, where you saw 2 girls involved in a sexual act, do you know where that photograph was taken?
I think it was taken in one of the rooms in the house because it's an oval bathtub, but I don't know which room, sir.
Okay. Did you recognize both the girls or just one of the girls?
The 2 girls.
All right. And then there were there was 1 or 2 other photographs of girls that you recognized? Yes. Okay. And were they fully unclothed, or did they have some degree of clothes on?
They were naked.
Right. And all of the remaining pictures, at least within that mosaic, were individuals that you did not know?
No, sir.
And that you did not recognize as having been at the house. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You were also asked about some. Let me switch for just a minute. You were asked about a vibrator that you saw, and I think you described it as a back massager that was approximately 18 inches long that had a couple of rotating heads on it.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you ultimately came up with the idea is it's something that you had seen at like a Sharper Image store.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of those types of devices that is a back massager with the rotating heads also? So, well, let me ask you this. Let me strike that last question. Have you ever been to Brookstone?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen a massager like that at Brookstone?
Yes.
All right. Okay, you were asked whether Miss Maxwell kept the names of any of the girls who came to give massages on. Well, let me ask it this way, because I don't have a full recollection now. I think you were asked whether Miss Maxwell ever kept the names of any of the girls
Yes.
who came to give massages, and I think your response was yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did she keep them on a pad of paper? Did she keep them in a notebook? Did she keep them in a computer?
We used to have internal books for pilots, masseuses, chefs. So she have a copy of the black book for herself, and as well as the computer.
Okay. And did you ever go on Miss Maxwell's computer to see what she had in it?
Yes.
Okay. And was that something that you were allowed to do?
No.
Okay. You actually went in her office?
Yes.
And was her computer on so that you didn't need to access the password?
It was off.
Okay. And so you just turned it on?
Yes, sir.
And then you were able to access her computer?
Exactly.
All right. And what possessed you to go in and to access her personal computer?
I needed to send some documents to the New York office, and it was the only computer working in the house.
Okay. On how many occasions did you use her computer?
Several times.
Was she ever aware that you used her computer?
I don't think so.
Did you ever ask Miss Maxwell for permission to use her computer?
I was the house manager, I believe. I was supposed to use everything in the house to accomplish my duties. In that case, sending financial reports or emails.
And so would you have then, did you ever use Mr. Epstein's computers?
No.
Okay. But you used Miss Maxwell's computer?
Yes.
Did you ever use?
Yes.
And looking at Miss Maxwell's, so you went into Miss Maxwell's computer with the concept, with at least the idea of sending some documents?
Yes.
Up to New York?
Yes.
Right. And were you going to PDF them?
Yes.
And did she have a fax machine, not a fax machine, a copy machine in her office as well?
Yes.
Right. So you were going to go, and how would you generally do that? Would you do that through a Microsoft program?
To the Citrix.
Through Citrix, all right. And with the Citrix, that is, if you said you saw some names of individuals on her computer, if you were just going to PDF some documents up to New York, why would you have, what would have caused you to have seen any names on her computer?
All the calls that they came to 358 El Brillo, they came through a telephone. They have a transcript somehow with some technique to the computer. So you can pull it and you register the time, who called, who didn't call, and you can pull this at your request. So I used to use that to go back to some calls that they were requesting, especially when the hurricane season happened.
Okay, so if I understand you, is that even the computer you used would have had that same feature?
No. No, it was totally different. Mine was slower and all of the time was breaking down. That's why we have the guy from Ohio came and fixed the computers.
Okay, and were there other computers that you used that had that feature? That is, that would...
No, only Mrs. Maxwell and the staff house.
Staff house being yours?
The guest house, yes, my office, yeah.
Okay, so you could go out to your guest house then and look for the same information?
No.
All right, I don't understand, but why don't we take a break, because we're almost out of tape.
I think she's a horrible liar. I mean, obviously, she's a terrible liar. You can tell, especially for me, what stuck out was, there are a lot of moments in there, but for me, when they asked the ages of the masseuses and they were kind of descending in age, and she kept saying, no, 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 not to my knowledge, no. It's like, it's so obvious that she's extremely uncomfortable and she's writhing under pressure and just squirming because the pressure's on. And you know she's lying. I mean, she's in prison right now because even though there is no justice in this case, there was a tiny bit of justice just in the fact that Ghislaine, even if it was kind of a sham trial and it was just a sort of meaningless conviction to please the general public, Ghislaine did go to prison because she was convicted of trafficking minors, which is hilarious once again to me that she can be convicted of that. But then when it comes to Epstein, they've already exonerated him without, it seems, doing any investigating at all. Like you see in the files that have been released recently, there's a whole lot of materials that they gathered, but we don't really see that many investigative notes and documents. It's crazy. You'd think that there would be more interviews with victims and witnesses and documents pertaining to all of those sorts of things, but no. I mean, and that's because the FBI, the DOJ, they're working together with the President of the United States, who is implicated in the Epstein files. They're all working in tandem to cover them up. And I've said this a bazillion times on this channel. If there were damning smoking gun pieces of evidence, documents, photos to be found within the Epstein files, they're never going to release them, guys. Come on. We know it's a corrupt system that we're working within right now. The top is corrupted, and that corruption flows all the way to the bottom. So they're not going to be transparent even if they had those things. But when you're talking about a blackmail gathering, sexual blackmail gathering, ring run by intelligence agencies, both domestic like the CIA and foreign like the KGB, Kremlin, Mossad in Israel, they're not going to keep records of that. It's not like they're going to have a list and a document that says, from head of intelligence in Israel to Jeffrey Epstein, great job collecting spy blackmail material for us. You are an amazing spy and intelligence asset. Now go get some blackmail on President Trump. Thank you. That's not going to exist, clearly. These agencies know how to cover their tracks. But I think what the files have been showing us and telling us, and even these videos like you just saw with Ghislaine, it's showing a depth to these people and to these characters, and it's providing context. And the people are connecting dots that the DOJ didn't think we'd connect, that the DOJ didn't think we'd find. I think they rushed through it. There was some pressure on them, but there's also a lot that was intentional. Like, they intentionally released videos and photos of nude victims, unredacted. I mean, it's despicable. It's horrific. It's actually illegal what they've done. It's not like, oh, that really sucks. It's illegal. And I'd like to see those douchebags go to prison for a lot of different things. But yeah. Anyways, please let me know your thoughts. Please leave me a comment down below. What do you think Ghislaine Maxwell was really trying to say through all of this? What was her demeanor like to you? What did she remind you of? Are there answers that you interpreted in a certain way? Do you think she said more than she should have? Did she not say enough? Your comments and your likes and your shares are what help to get these videos seen by the most people. And we're doing this truly independently. There's nobody backing my show. It's just me in my studio, in my house with my laptop, reading through all of this stuff and piecing all of this together right now. So your guys' help is really, really appreciated, especially when I'm trying to get these files up so that people can see them and the DOJ cannot delete them, because they are going through and deleting files every single day. The groups that I'm in online are tracking the files, and they're going down sometimes by the thousands every single day. And no one knows what files are deleted, why they're deleting the files, where the files are going. It's a complete mystery. Until next time, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you did enjoy today's video, even though it's a horrific subject matter. I hope that I was able to kind of crack a few jokes and provide some levity for y'all in these trying, very dark times. But we'll be back next week. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And yeah, keep that tinfoil hat on. Stay suspicious. Always question everything. And I'll see you guys next week.